Good day. I hope you and your family are happy and healthy. And just remember, we're one day closer to the end of this crisis. Surely the sweet singer of Israel had no idea that the following words to his song would one day be controversial. We know differently today. Psalm 139, verse 14, I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. One of the great evidences of the existence of God is that man or woman that you see in the mirror every day. The Hebrew writer hardly went out on a limb when he wrote in Hebrews 3, verse 5, for every house is built by someone, but he who built all things is God. Whenever we see a house, we conclude at a very young age that this particular domicile is a product of materials that have been gathered by humans and assembled into a place that someone now calls home. No rational man would argue against this truth. The Holy Spirit simply goes from the lesser to the greater in his argumentation. When we know that someone has died, we can know with equal or greater certainty that the individual is no longer breathing. If we can conclude that a house is built by a man or a group of men and women, surely we can reason that everything in nature that we see around us is the product of God's hands. If a house requires a builder and a maker, surely the far more complex human body demands a maker. Have you come to terms with the fact that God is the creator? In the Bible, the very first page of the Bible, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26 and 27, we read the following. Then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. These statements are demonstrably true. What we want to do is look at some evidence that God created man from simple but impressive facts about the human body that cannot reasonably be explained by innumerable accidents and coincidences of macroevolution. Consider your bones. A handy science answer book by Balaban and Bobek informs us that infants have over 300 bones, but after many of these fuse together, adults end up having 206 bones. Our bones serve multiple purposes, providing internal scaffolding, serving as muscle-operated levers, and protecting vital organs. Bone marrow also produces blood. That's according to the World Book Encyclopedia of Science, the Human Body Volume. Dr. Paul Brand writes, no exon researcher has yet discovered a material as well suited for the body's needs as bone, which comprises only 1/5 of our body weight. In 1867, an engineer demonstrated, he continues, that the arrangement of bone cells forms the lightest structure made of least material to support the body's weight. No one has successfully challenged his findings. As the only hard material in the body, Brand says, bone possesses incredible strength, enough to protect and support every other cell. Sometimes we press our bones together like a steel spring, as when a pole vaulter lands. Other times we nearly pull a bone apart, as when my arm lifts a heavy suitcase. In comparison, wood can withstand even less pulling tension and could not possibly bear the compression forces that bone can. A wooden pole for the vaulter would quickly snap. Steel, which can absorb both forces well, is 3 times the weight of bone and would burden us down. Can you imagine that? Brand goes on to say, the economical body takes this stress-bearing bone and hollows it out using a weight-saving architectural principle it took people millennia to discover. It then fills the vacant space in the center with an efficient red blood cell factory that turns out, get this, 1 trillion new cells per day. 1 trillion. Brand continues, I find bone's design most impressive in the tiny, jewel-like chips of ivory in the foot. 26 bones line up in each foot, about the same number in each hand. Even when a soccer player subjects these small bones to a cumulative force of over 1,000 tons per foot over the course of a match, his living bones endure the violent stress, maintaining their elasticity. Not all of us leap and kick, but we do walk some 65,000 miles, or more than 2.5 times around the world in a lifetime. Our body weight is evenly spread out through architecturally perfect arches, which serve as springs in the foot, and the bending of knees and ankles absorb stress. Listen, you are no accident. The human body, when closely examined, shouts aloud, "To God be the glory," for all who have ears to hear. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. If you're interested in more faith-building material, we hope you'll visit the Let the Bible Speak app, letthebiblespeak.com, our YouTube channel, or just email me at unityseeker@hotmail.com. My name is Brett Hickey, and I'm with Let the Bible Speak.